for everybody that we're going to do at the top of the next hour in reference to what the Obama administration is doing, which I find it's almost incomprehensible to me. It really is. I wouldn't put anything past the administration. But this is, you've all heard me say that the man is not dumb. He's a smart man. That the administration knows exactly what they're trying to do, and those in it know exactly what they're doing. I've always said that. You know that whole thing about him not being dumb? I don't know. I'm second guessing that. I mean, this is unbelievable that we would consider this at this point. It is, I know, and you always hear me say that the American people have the shortest memory of any animal on the face of this earth. Well, man, if this doesn't confirm that, nothing does. But anyway, I'll talk about the second hour. We're going to do a little history lesson in reference to it and why we should be so concerned about it. Obviously, as it reflects on our economy. Also, I've got some very interesting news in reference to Obamacare in a story that is unrelated to Obamacare. But you know how I always dig a little deeper and try to put a different, try to look at it from a very different perspective. This story coming out of the Washington Post this morning, you can find it on my Facebook page, facebook.com/financial issues. I sent it out on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see it. If you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. It's at Financial Issues. I get emails. I got one the other day. I'm looking, can't find you on Twitter. You always talk about it. I don't know where you are. That's because it's not Dan Celia. It's Financial Issues. People can't spell Celia, so I don't use it. It's Financial Issues. At Financial Issues. If you follow me on Twitter, you can see the story. But we're going to talk about that, too, as it relates to Obamacare. Not as it relates to the story that it's talking about. Obviously, I'm going to use the story, but you can't read this story without talking about it. Now, maybe we'll talk about it at 7:20 Central Time when Fred Jackson comes in to talk about a couple of these stories. I told him about this story. He may bring it up. If he does, we'll talk about it. If not, I'll talk about it after that. But anyway, we'll take a look at that. 888-589-8840, by the way, if you want to cue your call up. Lots of things going on in the news. The first thing, of course, is Thursday. Thursday, we have what? Job numbers, right? Those filing for unemployment claims. Well, the number of people that applied for first-time unemployment benefits jumped 28,000 to a 4-month high to 385,000. 385,000. I thought we were finished approaching getting anywhere near the 400,000 mark. Last week, we finally went back above 350,000 to 356. This week, we've jumped from that to 385,000. This is a recovery. This, and I've got some more news to talk about in reference to, you'll find it again if you follow me on Twitter, about the poverty rate in America. I'll tell you something. We are destroying, not just hurting. We are destroying senior citizens in this country, and we're destroying those folks in the lower income brackets. We're destroying them. And I'm going to say, so you might as well get ready to call in and give me a hard time about it, the liberals that listen to the program. I'm putting the blame on President Obama. I'm not putting the blame on Congress. I'm not putting the blame on the spineless Republicans. I mean, there's plenty of it to go around, the blame, but I'm going to put it squarely on the shoulders of the President of the United States. Now, it's a beautiful thing for him to destroy those two classes of people because nobody seems to care about senior citizens and nobody seems to care about those that are in the poverty level already. We don't care about them. Let's just wipe out the wisdom of our country. I get sick. We do it all over the place. I see it in churches. Elder boards. The oldest guy on the elder board's 30 years old. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I see that all the time. I have nothing against youth. I love youth. I love the fact that my audience is getting younger and younger. But there's a group of youth that understands there is wisdom from having lived a little bit of life. Then there are others that don't believe that. There are some that truly care. And I am not, by the way, because these folks don't care at all. I'm not talking about people like the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm not talking about them because they don't care a lick because they've never done anything for the poverty level in the inner cities that they proclaim to protect. I'm really getting out here, setting myself up for lots of critical emails. But, I'm just stating the facts. Nobody seems to care about those two classes. If I hear the president talk about the middle class anymore and the upper 1%, what about all the other people?